53rd Annual Golden Deed Awards Banquet. I want to thank each one of you for attending this evening. This time I'd like to introduce the President of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, Trent Swearingen.
Take this time to introduce Mr. H.B. O'Brien. Mr. O'Brien, he is the editor and publisher of the Eastland County newspapers. Has been in the newspaper business for over 65 years. He is also author of several publications, including the book titled The Story of Old Rip, a Horned Toad That Slept for 30 Years. I'd like to invite H.B. over to the podium so that he can lead us in a special ceremony that I think is unique only to Eastland. So, Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you. The only thing he missed, he failed to mention that I'm a lifetime member of the Horned Lizard Conservation Society. We have a secret. We have a secret handshake and all that sort of thing. But seriously, I want to introduce the original, and well, not the original, but one of the earliest, strongest supporters of Old Rip, Betty and Jim Armstrong. And Betty has a long history of serving. They used to live here, and I wish they'd come back. But she read in one of the local papers about someone wished that there was a Walt Disney type doll, some animated doll that would represent Old Rip. She read it, she made it, she has been making them, and she's wearing one on her hat now. Jim, have her and Betty, you and Jim stand up, let them see that hat. She's made literally hundreds of these, and they're missionaries for Old Rip all around the world. Tonight she wants to make a special presentation of one of her choice models, one of the original Walt Disney type dolls, to our school system. And would superintendent and our principal come forward? Betty, if you'll make that presentation to those, to Superintendent Jason Cochran and Principal Stephen Faulkner. Glad to have you both participate.
I'd like to present this to Eastland County Schools. Like I say, it wasn't for HB, this wouldn't exist. But, I've had a great time.
The idea is don't ever let a student graduate unless they know the full story of Old Rip.
How do we get a hat? I'll make Mr. Faulkner work.
Talk to me later.
Yes, can we take a picture of him in the hat? That'll be perfect.
I can wear it, you can wear it. I can wear it, you can wear it.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you. The first question is Old Rip a frog or a toad? I've heard that debated many ways, but the truth is that he's neither. He assumed he's a he. We've never known for sure. But the society says that he is a horned lizard. And we have to take their word for that. Now, most of us here know the story. There may be some stranger among us who doesn't know the story of Old Rip. And the pure facts are that an old courthouse built in 1897 is where he started. Now, why was he in the stone? Well, I'll tell you, a teenager named Will Wood put him there. Why? Who knows what a teenager is thinking or saying or doing. The cornerstone was waiting to be capped and placed by the masons who do that such thing. The usual Bible, documents, photos, and a bottle of whiskey were put in the stone. The lad slipped in the reptile. That was back when they were everywhere. Everybody had horn toads on their property. We don't have them anymore. Too many insecticides and fire ants, I guess. The stone was sealed and put in place. 31 years later, when that courthouse was torn down, to make room for the one we see now, a delegation had gathered to witness the opening of the old cornerstone. It was a momentous occasion. It was February the 28th, 1928, 87 years ago. The lizard was lifted by a Methodist preacher, and he was alive and wiggled. The frog, not the preacher. And he became an instant A1 attraction. The lizard was named Old Rip and was paid many honors. You can see him now in the window on the north side of the courthouse, not far from the original stone from which he emerged. He became a celebrity, visited the White House, and President Calvin Coolidge is reported to have said of him, "Wow." Travel, the limelight, and maybe old age took its toll. And alas, poor old Rip died, to be embalmed, placed on display, and there were many stolen pranks played on old Rip. I won't name any names, but I could tell you some organizations who would borrow him from the courthouse. That was before he was locked up good, and hide him for a while, and they got undue publicity doing that. The late Governor John Connolly held him up and broke a leg off on one of the publicity campaign whistle-stop tours from a train. You might be surprised to know that there are some people who are not thrilled to be represented by a frog, but who would rather prefer to be known as the town with the largest cucumber or the Rhode Island red rooster. I say we do good with Old Rip. And now, in commemoration of this anniversary event, we feel that it would be altogether proper for us to repeat the oath of allegiance to the frog. Now, I will administer the Old Rip oath. You may remain seated. Dr. Dewberry, would you mind standing up for us, please?
That's asking quite a bit.
Now, I want you to place your right hand over your heart. Your right hand, that's right. And raise your left hand. That's good. See, he followed directions very good. And if each of you will do the same thing, and then repeat silently or all together, I'll read the oath, and at the end of which we will swear that we will do this. I do solemnly swear or affirm, for those people who don't swear, that I will faithfully perpetuate the Old Rip true story, and to the best of my ability promote, preserve, protect, and defend to death the true story of Old Rip, who slept 31 years and woke up wiggling. There's one note that I will add. We all say I do. That's right. There's one thing I'd like to add. A famous Texas writer was a cover reporter for the local newspaper at that time. The publisher told Boyce House to go cover the unveiling of the cornerstone, and he told that young reporter to forget the Bible and the whiskey, to concentrate on the frog. And he did, and he played the heck out of it for years and years and years. So that is the true, unadorned story of Old Rip. By the way, I have been petitioned by Betty and many others to take a brief survey. All in favor of permanently attaching a giant Old Rip replica high on the windmill on the east side of town. Please let it be known by saying aye and raising your right hand. Aye. And any opposed by the same sign, and there are none. That was a Baptist vote, they all carried. So, Mr. Duncan, the ball is in your court. And I thank you